Hello. My journey at Kean is filled with highs and lows. To fully understand my challenges, my achievements, I deemed it necessary to share about my personal life and my struggles. For a while, I considered myself to be incapable of being a successful student, despite identifying as an intelligent person. I did well in elementary school as a child, but I could never focus on my homework without someone there to stop me from getting distracted. Some nowadays would use the term accountability buddy, but I called her mother. She would sit right next to me every day. She helped me learn how to read, how to write, how to do arithmetic, and pretty much everything else you could ask from a parent. Near the tail end, I even achieved honor roll in my first year of middle school. But all good things, as they say, must come to an end. And that very summer in middle school, my mother fell victim to the opioid epidemic, and she left my life. At the age of 12, I found myself with a sudden, unfamiliar sense of independence. I lost my accountability buddy, and every single year of my life from then on, I proceeded to fail at least one class. When prior to this, I had not even failed a single assignment. I was now living with my aunt, who was amazing in her own right, but whether it was perhaps due to a difference in parenting or maybe just the expectations of a child at that age, I was not kept accountable in the same manner and had not prepared the skills to do so myself. While I'd always dreamed of pursuing a career in STEM and still wanted to perform well in school, I simply was not prepared. And just a few years later, when I was 15, my aunt actually had a lung cancer diagnosis and passed away later that year from cigarettes. At this point in my life, I felt both a lack of motivation to achieve my dreams and incapable of actualizing them. I lived with my grandpa at the time, and while he cared for me dearly, there was only so much he could do at his age. At this time, my friends were getting letters from universities, and I was getting brought into the office, told that I wasn't going to be able to graduate high school. I remember vividly the memory where I promised myself, if I ever had the opportunity to go to a college, I would not let it go to waste. I would do whatever it took, no matter what. And up to this point, me and my father, for lack of better words, had a rocky relationship, but I decided to move in with him. And while I wanted to save most of my thanks for the end, I do want to say now how grateful I am for his assistance in getting me back on my feet, taking me out of high school, setting up the test where I got my GED, and even got me into my local community college. I felt like I had gotten that chance that I never thought I would, and I was prepared to uphold that promise I made to myself. I took what it took, or I did what it took to learn the skills to do homework, to study, all that stuff. And eventually I persisted and wound up getting my associate's degree throughout COVID and other struggles. Which makes me not only the first of my family members to get any degree from a college, but also one of the 5% of high school dropouts who pursue higher education. From then on, I pursued my bachelor's degree at Kean University, as you may know from my shirt, and got employed as a student worker. I was doing well, but the problems I was having, my living situation came to a tipping point. I was facing some insecurities and had turned to my superiors at Kean Ocean for help. By the grace of the staff at both Kean campuses, I had gotten set up with a dorm to help me, and for whichever reasons, I had a hard time adjusting well to living alone here. It was about an hour from my town I was born and raised in, and at this point in my life, my grandpa had actually passed away. I had 2 consecutive semesters with absolute 0 GPAs. And I had thought that I had broken that promise to myself, and I thought that I had no chance at succeeding as a college student. I took a break for 1 semester and decided to return to Kean Ocean in the spring. Still on academic probation, after getting the highest GPA of my life at this point, of a 3.2, I still wound up getting academically dismissed for not raising my cumulative GPA in a set period of time. But after appealing this dismissal and being readmitted, I felt like I had gotten a second chance to keep that promise to myself, that I would do whatever it took to get a college degree and a career in STEM. And let me tell you, it did not go to waste. On my first semester being readmitted, I broke the streak of failing 1 class a year every year of my life, while also breaking my personal record of highest GPA in a semester. I took 19 credits, which is not full-time, it's overtime. Which you need a signature for permission to take. And while working part-time at the Kean Ocean campus, as you may know, I got a perfect flawless 4.0. I'm on track to graduating next semester, and I wanted to thank all the staff involved, either directly or indirectly, who assisted me, but especially Alice McCall, my direct supervisor at Kean Ocean, as well as other staff there, Maureen Byrne, Patricia Martino, and Amara Cardoza. Dr. Christopher Scafani, Erica Charles, and a student/co-worker from Kean Ocean, who was there for me at a time it seemed no one else was, Mike Torres. I want to end with a quote that helped me from a man who spoke at this campus 65 years ago. You might have heard of him, Martin Luther King Jr. If you can't fly, run. If you can't run, walk. If you can't walk, crawl. But by all means, keep moving forward. Thank you.